Welcome to another episode of the PLA podcast. I am absolutely so excited and I'm truly looking forward to today's conversation. We have no other than Praveen Yallakara with us, and it's a conversation that I've been looking forward to have for so long. Praveen, welcome to the PLA podcast.
Thank you, Dunya, for having me. I'm looking forward to this as well.
It's going to be a phenomenal conversation. I've had the absolute privilege of knowing Praveen for almost an entire year now, even long before my own journey with PLA has started. So this has been an absolute treat, and I can't wait to jump right in.
I am as excited as well. I know we go a long way back. I've known you since a long time. I've seen you grow as well. And it's my absolute pleasure to do this today.
Incredible. Well, I would love to formally introduce you to our audience for those that don't have the big privilege of knowing you personally and professionally as I do. So, just wanted to run through some incredible information about your story, about who you are, your journey. So, meet Praveen Yallakara, technology consultant with 20 plus years of experience specializing as a hands on integration architect. He has worked across healthcare, finance, and the public sector, solving complex integration challenges with a variety of technologies. Based in Portland, Oregon, where he lives with his wife, two kids, and their Labradoodle Bella, of course, passionate about CrossFit, embracing the discipline and challenge it brings. Outside of work and training, he enjoys hiking and mountain climbing in the Pacific Northwest, finding clarity and renewal in nature. Praveen, it's so lovely to have you on with us here. Thank you for joining. Thank you for sharing your beautiful time and wisdom with us and the audience today.
Absolutely. Let's go.
So, Praveen, I'd love to take you back in time to the very, very beginning of your career. Where did this whole journey start? Where did the story really begin for you on throughout this time?
Right. So, to go back almost 25 years, I did my engineering back in my hometown in Hyderabad, India. And my specialization was mechanical engineering, which has nothing to do with the work that I'm doing. But immediately after college, I got hired as a software engineer and I never looked back. I loved the work that I did as part of the entire information technology. And I have seen how IT has evolved over the past 20 years, all the way from some really basic work to advent of AI these days. It has come a long way. I'm really glad that I've been part of the journey and got to experience it, both with its challenges and the phenomenal work that I've done over the past 20 years. And I have loved every minute of it.
Incredible. And I would love to know if you were to go back in time, knowing everything that you know now with your career and experience and how much you've grown personally and professionally, what is one piece of advice you wish you knew at the very beginning of your career?
That's a loaded question. Can I give you like three or four instead of one? I
100%.
think I have learned quite a few lessons, I would say, especially at the beginning of my career when I was just starting out. And over the years, I realized that you can be the best developer, you can be the best IT specialist or IT manager. But the one thing that you absolutely need is communication. How good your communication is, how good your clarity of thought is. Yes, you're able to build things, you're able to manage people, you're able to do some cool, innovative stuff. But are you really able to tell a story about what you're doing? Are you really, do you really have that clarity of thought and purpose? So I believe the best professionals in the industry, I guess this doesn't just apply to information technology, but for every professional is, are you really able to communicate what you have done,
Mm.
communicate with clients, with stakeholders, with your mentors, with your peers in the best possible manner? I think that's what helps you grow professionally and personally as well. And I believe that is the most important part. And speaking of other things, I would say asking questions. When I started out as a student in my first job, I was very silent. I immediately thought, if I ask a question, I might be the most dumbest person in the room. But contrary to that, the smartest people in the room ask the most number of questions.
Mm.
And whenever I have said, this might sound, whenever I start a question with this might sound as a dummy question, People always said there is no dummy questions. Every question is important. So asking questions is another important aspect when you're starting your journey. And I believe each and every one of us should ask questions. It helps uncover a lot of mistaken assumptions which you might have. It helps sometimes save weeks of work and just establishes the clarity of thought. And yes, go ahead and ask those questions, as dumb as silly as you might feel or sound.
Amazing.
Lastly,
Of course.
uh, do not get fixated on a tool or technology. Be adaptable, embrace yourself for change. When you're starting out, you feel like, hey, I need to be the best at this tool. I need to stay in this technology for the next 15 years. But be adaptable, learn every role or every new opportunity that comes your way, and learn every new technologies. It's important to build foundations and have that adaptability to learn new skill sets, new roles, whatever be it. And that's the best way to grow rather than staying focused on one particular thing.
Absolutely. Praveen, I think you bring up some really interesting points that a lot of people that are actually in the technology space don't consider to be as important as they are now that you've realized this with your career, and anyone who gives that space, time, and energy to really focus on communication of thoughts, of ideas, of vision. So important and oftentimes overlooked. I love that piece. And the part of the part of asking questions, making sure to ask questions, not being shy, going ahead. There are so many moments where we're thinking, oh, this is a quite simple question. Probably no one else in the room has it. Most likely, other people are asking themselves the same thing. And to be the courageous person to ask those questions just brings so much value. Amazing.
Absolutely.
Wow. Praveen, it's been, and I love that last piece of adaptability, right? We're in a time, especially with technology, where we're seeing change at a growth rate that we've never seen before. And if you are not adaptable, it's going to be very difficult to, be a true asset in the room and at the table for, the next 15, 20 years. I'd be curious to know, Praveen, knowing you over, such an incredible time span, but more importantly, not only professionally, but also personally, you have such a relationship to CrossFit, as we know so well. I would love for you to share with the audience, how did that journey start? What originally pulled you to CrossFit? And my second kind of funky question is, what have you learned about your professional career through the exploration of CrossFit?
Dunya, I love talking about Casper. It automatically brings a smile to my face. So I started my CrossFit journey almost 10 years ago when I was working in San Francisco. I used to go to these 24-hour fitness gyms and the regular monthly where you just go out, take some selfies and work out and post them on social media. Let me tell you, it will get you nowhere. Unless somebody or a mentor or a coach is pushing you to the limits, you're not going to make the gains. You'll just be comfortable in whatever you're doing. But in order to go to the next level, you have to do something crazy, right? So that's what I did. When I looked up, what is CrossFit? How does it work? The only things that I heard was CrossFit is phenomenal. Or actually, let me say that one sentence where which people hear when they get into CrossFit. Like CrossFit is for everyone, but not everybody can do CrossFit.
Mm.
So what I mean by that is, yes, you can go ahead and try CrossFit, but it can easily overwhelm you. So there is a method and approach to CrossFit which you should implement and inculcate in your daily life. When I started out, I was the same way because CrossFit is so intense and there's weightlifting involved, there is high intensity workouts involved, there is like body weight workouts involved. CrossFit inculcates every single thing, and it can easily overwhelm you. The first 6 months would be great, where because you're not so used to the intensity, you'll quickly lose weight, you'll build some muscle, and you will feel absolutely wonderful about yourself. But like with everything, unless you are consistent with the methodology and approach, unless you take things slow, you're not going to make further progress. Yes, you'll get to level 1, but can you get to level 8, level 10 in CrossFit? Can you be the best CrossFit athlete? And for that to get to the next level, you have to really make consistent changes in your life. You have to get your diet on track. You have to make sure you're getting enough protein. And because CrossFit involves like some heavy weightlifting and high intensity, you have to slow down at a point to make further progress.
Wow.
So if your body is sore, you have to listen to your body, take a day off. And in order to build strength, like for example, I was deadlifting and I plateaued at a particular weight for about a couple of years. I didn't deadlift a single pound more than I did. And I was really stressed out. I almost came to the point of quitting CrossFit.
Oh my
But then I spoke to the coach. We came up with a plan, made some changes in my everyday life, like diet, getting enough sleep, getting enough supplements, right, to go with all the CrossFit training. And then I immediately started, making that small gains again. And over time, if you see those gains start adding up,
God.
and you'll quickly realize that by slowing down, by reflecting, which applies to not just CrossFit, but for every phase of your life, right? For it, be it a professional, personal, you're measuring your goals, you're taking a pause, reflecting on where you are, how far you have come, how far do you need to go for your next step. If you do all of that, then you'll really be one of the best athletes in the gym. Um, I'm just talking about in a CrossFit analogy, but this applies to your professional life as well.
Absolutely. There are so many lessons in just that story that you shared, like a ton. So I love that piece around, so like CrossFit is for everyone, but not everyone is capable of doing CrossFit. Even in our careers, even in our professional life, this career may be for everyone, but not everyone is capable of doing it. And it's like, wow, okay, there's something there. The second piece is, the 6 months is exciting, getting that for your and in some ways it's like a career. We're learning a lot, we're growing fast,
Yep.
we're getting introduced to the culture. We're like, wow, this is amazing. And eventually there's this experience of the plateau that we hit and we start to realize, wait a minute, how do I grow past this? And I love that piece that you shared around, there are moments where you actually have to slow down and look at other things you hadn't considered that may look unrelated but actually are, that are going to allow you to tap into that next level of progress. Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. I was very dejected when my gains plateaued, but you have to find a mentor, you have to find a
Yeah.
coach, talk through what you're seeing, where you're lacking, come up with a plan and be consistent with that plan over a period of time, and you'll naturally make progress. And that will what eventually get you to the next step, next level.
Incredible. I love that. I think, yeah, the importance of a mentor and having someone who sees it from a different perspective than you do is so important. I'd, I'd be curious, Praveen. Oftentimes we talk about the glory of a career and all the good and all the accomplishments. And actually, what interests me most really is asking people, what were the most difficult points of your career, and how did you grow from them? And what were those to you, really?
Most difficult points of my career definitely would be, as I mentioned earlier, as part of my CrossFit journey, slowing down. I always used to think that, the faster you move, the faster you grow. But slowing down is the most important aspect that people need to incorporate in their everyday life. And that's what I did. Uh, Small things like journaling every
Mm,
day, meditation, even for a few minutes every day, reading books rather than going on social media and browsing reels. So these are the very small habits that if you can incorporate in your everyday life, which help you pause, breathe, and reflect
mm,
on everything else that is going on around you, will give you real progress rather than trying to speed through everything, like trying to go for every shiny new toy out there,
mm,
right? So I think that is the most important lesson I would say is that instead of speeding all the time, try to walk intentionally and reflect and pause. And I know that Dunya, you do this very regularly, and you're the chief people heart officer, and I am very inspired by you actually. Listening to your videos and your conversations in PLA, I loved all of that, and that family has really helped me into bringing these small changes in my life.
oh, thank you, Praveen. What a compliment, and I receive it wholeheartedly. I really want to make a quote that says from Praveen, instead of rushing through life, walk intentionally. Like, oh my God. And I hope that anyone listening to this recording is really letting that land. Are you rushing to the next goal, or are you choosing to walk intentionally? It's like, ooh, I need to reflect on that. I'm going to need a journal on that one. That was so good. It was like, because so many of us get caught up in the illusion of the rat race of like the
Yeah.
next thing, like you said, right? The next shiny object, the next shiny promotion, the next opportunity. And it also, your share also made me think of a quote from Vamsi that says, success finds itself in the boring work. Success
Yeah.
finds itself in the boring work where it's like the stuff you're like, it's not sexy. It's not fun. It's not attractive. It doesn't look playful. I'm not excited to do it. It's like, really, the opportunities are hidden within those moments where it's the discipline of choosing to show up, even though we don't feel like it.
Funny you say that we were discussing this exact part in our PLA meeting today about how the boring things doing over and over, instead of the all the fascinating new things, instead of chasing those, if you do the boring things over and over and make those 1% changes in your life, that will give you and take you to the next level. And that's where greatness is, rather than rushing through things and shining everything else.
I have to say, Praveen, it was the intuition. Something just told me.
Of course.
So good. So I'm curious also, if someone were to enter their tech career today, and they're brand new, they're quite young, they're starting off, what would you tell them? I'd be really curious.
You said the word curious. I would exactly tell them that. Um, don't be wedded to any new technology,
Mm,
company, or any organization. Be open-minded, stay curious.
so
If you join a company and they put you in some boring technology, work on that. Who knows where that would take you in your life later?
wow.
And be adaptable, as I mentioned earlier. Embrace change as a junior developer, as a junior resource, or a new joinee in a team. Everything can be overwhelming. Take your time, learn about the tool. It's very important to build your foundational skills, right, rather than chasing new technologies and new tools. Build your foundational skills. Build your adaptability. Learning how to learn is also a very special skill set. So no matter what technology the organization throws at you or what role they throw at you, be curious and open-minded and work on those roles. I think one thing that I would have actually liked to be done when I started my career is work in a startup. Startup would actually gives you that whole big picture,
Mm,
and it really opens up your mind to a lot of different things that happen in an organization, from HR to project management to you're obviously skilled at all the technical stuff, but everything that goes around it in a startup is really helpful and opens your mind to different things. So if you get that opportunity, go ahead and explore it. But if not, stay open-minded, stay curious, and build your foundational skills. And no matter what
mm.
technology or tools get thrown at you, you will always be in a safe space if you build that foundation.
Incredible. So much value. I hope that anybody that's starting their career, or if anyone watching this video has, a kid in college that's really now, a young adult really, and they're starting their career, that they take a moment and watch that clip and share that with people that are just starting off their career, because there's so much value in all the insights and the suggestions that you just made. Truly.
Absolutely.
Speaking of technology changing, we obviously know this big buzzword around AI. I'd love to get your perspective and just get your take on what's going on. How are you using it? How are you seeing it? And anything else you'd like to share with us about it?
Well, AI is fundamentally reshaping how things are done these days. It's reshaping an entire organization strategy. If organizations are not talking about AI these days, then I would think that they are on their way to redundancy. That's the impact of AI I'm seeing these days. I have been involved in building AI solutions at my organization as well over the past 6 months, and I'm incredibly grateful for that I've been part of that. I have seen AI do things like, I'll give you a context on without giving
Mhm.
Too many details and getting into legal trouble. I'll give you a small example. Uh, for example, a customer on a cruise, he, let's say there is a air conditioning in his cabin is not working. What used to happen 2 to 3 years ago is that he would call up customer care and he says, "Hey, my AC is not working. I'm really pissed. What can you do to help me?" Now, the customer service rep would have to look up his reservation.
Mm.
He would have to look up a lot many details on, uh, what is this customer's reservation, which cruise he's on, which room he's on, and how AI has evolved over the past 6 months is a customer just logs into a chat bot through his phone and he basically types, "Hey, I'm having an AC problem in my cabin, and here's my reservation number." And
Mm.
what AI is able to do now is identify the customer details, his first name, last name, his cruise details, his cabin, his room. The AI is even able to fetch the lounges that are accessible to the customer, the pools that the customer's cabin is nearby, and it's able to generate or credit back loyalty points to the customer, or it's able to generate a voucher to the customer all in a matter of seconds for him to redeem at a lounge or a snack bar until his AC gets fixed. So all this happens in a matter of seconds, whereas a couple of years back, this used to take like 30 minutes to an hour. All the while, the
Incredible.
customer getting even more pissed, and maybe the company ending up losing the customer at the end of the call. So
Mhm.
it has gone from that level of customer service to these days where everything happens in a matter of seconds, and that's what retains customers to organizations and builds that customer loyalty. So AI is essentially reshaping everything from public sector to healthcare to finance to financial industries. But when I say that, there is the issue of trust and security and accountability. So
Yeah.
we need to be careful on what data is exposed
Mm.
to AI. There are a lot of there's a lot of research and a lot of things that are being done in that regard to safeguard customer security and privacy. We are still not fully there yet, but
Yeah.
we are getting there. So I would say AI is disrupting industries on a big level.
That's incredible, Praveen. I love this example because it goes to show that AI is actually going to provide a win-win-win solution for all. And it's not just us at our desk that are working in organizations that are having this access to AI that's making our day-to-day job much easier, but actually the client, the customer on the other end is getting a much better service and with, shorter wait times, more efficiency, more accuracy in the data being pulled on their own end. So everyone wins when, we're using these tools to our benefit. Wow.
I love it. I love being part of AI solutions, and I hope to do that in the long term as well. And I know not everybody in every industry gets to work on AI, but I'm glad that I'm part of an organization that's doing that.
That's incredible. And getting to see the results in real time is just such a gift, really. And it's exciting. It goes to show like the world is moving in a very interesting place at a very rapid speed, truly. I
Agreed.
Yeah, Praveen, I'm so like we talked about the future very little in your answer, about what you're still excited to do and you're hoping to continue to do. There's two words that I love and I'm very obsessed with in my professional and personal life, and I love bringing it into these conversations. And the two words are legacy and impact. I would love to know what is the legacy and impact you're still excited to create in the future, in the years that are still coming, in this beautiful, ripe career that you still have going.
So we are talking about AI. I would definitely be continue to be involved in building cutting edge AI solutions. And the industry that I'm mostly involved are in healthcare and public sector, right? So I plan to build solutions where we use AI not just as a tool, but as something that is dramatically transforming those industries and bringing actual value
Wow.
to the people. That being said, I don't want to just use AI as a tool and then, not not label AI as something that is replacing all the people out there, because one thing that AI cannot do is replace human emotions, replace human empathy. So whatever I build, whatever I design, I want to design it thoughtfully, purposefully keeping human emotions, empathy, and essentially people at the heart of all of it. So that's what I want to do a few years from now, and I hope I'm able to accomplish that. I know it's easier said than done, but I truly want to put my heart into it and make sure that people essentially are in the middle of it and not just ignored as something that can be replaced by AI.
Oh, Praveen, you're talking right to my heart, my chief heart officer heart. I think it's incredible. And I really believe with, not only your skill set, but your character, who you are as a person and what you value. If anyone's to do it, it is you, really. And I am excited. I think that the world absolutely needs it and is ready to receive this to in some ways balance out this beautiful gift that is AI with, still connecting, putting the human at the center and source of, what we're creating. I'm excited for the what you're about to create, and I'm excited to be part of the journey and witness it all, truly.
Thank you.
Oh. We've been on this PLA journey for, several months now. I'd be curious to know what was your experience with PLA and what originally led you to PLA? I'd be curious.
So I wasn't aware of PLA at all. My only introduction to PLA was through Communication Accelerator, which you and I were part of that particular August 2024 group. And that's how, at the very end of Communication Accelerator was a game changer, by the way. I think we can have a separate podcast on that. But at the end of it, Brendan introduced me to Vamsi and Venkat. And Brendan told me, hey, you can continue to be part of this PLA journey, and I will be there as well. And that's the only hook that I needed to jump right into PLA straight after CA. And PLA has been phenomenal. We were talking about my promotion this morning in the PLA group, and I owe most of it to the CA family as well as the PLA family. I
Wow.
think Vamsi and Venkat have started something amazing. They not only keep people accountable, but they give you these small nuggets every single week in every single session on how to stay grounded, how to pause, reflect, the things that have been harping on this podcast since the very beginning, right? And doing the small things and the little things every single day
Mm.
that will gradually and ultimately show you the progress over a long period of time, right? So it will make you stay on track and with the bell system as well, right? Even if you're lagging behind, they'll call you out and they will give you all the help that are needed. I think we have the perfect combo of, a technology leader and Vamsi with all his leadership coaching and Brendan with his communication skills and you with all the heart that you bring into PLA family. It's just phenomenal. And now we have Bruno as well. I don't know what more you can ask for in the whole PLA tree, right? I love being part of it and I hope to be part of it for a long time.
Oh, Praveen, it's an absolute treat to have you in that space. And part of it is those who embody the work and run with an opportunity like this make the world, it's gonna sound cheesy, but make the world a better place. I really believe that when we are committed to doing the work ourselves, everyone wins. Our children win, our spouses win, our community wins, our teams at work win. And it's an absolute gift. And you've done so well with PLA. And we're so excited for all the future that all the magic in the future that still holds in PLA and your experience with it. I wanted to put out, in case someone's like, what is this PLA journey? And they're curious to know a little bit more about it. PLA hosts these regular free trainings and workshops, which are phenomenal. You'll get a ton of value out of it. It'll give you a little bit more insight and information and an experience that'll know, wait, maybe it's something that I'm curious about. So I'm going to put a little QR code on the screen. Feel free to scan it. And you will find any information about the next free training and workshop, which PLA hosts regularly. And just by this free training, you will walk away with so much value that even just attending this is totally worth it on its own. So I just wanted to put that out there. So many of us have been so many times to the PLA workshops and trainings. They're incredible. So I just want to put that out there for anyone who's wondering, wait a minute, I want to find out a little bit more about this thing. Praveen, it's been a absolute gift interviewing you today. I really was looking forward to this one for a long time as we've known each other for so long. I've gotten to know you over many, many, many months. And, I'm so excited about the way you do the work so intentionally, and the incredible heart you have, that's just for me a big sweet spot. So I just want to thank you really from the bottom of my heart to let me interview you on the PLA podcast today.
It's absolutely my pleasure as well, Dunya, getting interviewed by you, being on your podcast, and I hope we can do one more sometime in the future.
Absolutely. We'll manifest it. We'll make it happen. To everyone that was listening today, thank you for your time. Thank you for listening to another PLA podcast episode. And we're hoping to have Praveen on again, of course. Have a beautiful day, everyone.
Thank you.